Shortly after October 7th, while much of the world was still confused, emotional, and divided, one man spoke with absolute clarity, not as an outsider, not as a politician, not as a journalist, but as someone who grew up inside Hamas. This is Mosab Hassan Yousef, the son of one of Hamas's founders, turned one of its fiercest enemies. In this interview on the Jordan Harbinger Show, Mosab delivers one of the most explosive warnings about Hamas, radical ideology, Western denial, and the future of civilization itself. Some called him extreme, others called him prophetic. But after everything that's happened since October 7th, many are now asking if he was one of the few people willing to say out loud what others were too afraid to admit. These are some of the most powerful moments from that conversation.
Shame on you, pro-Palestine movement. You don't have the capacity to condemn Hamas. Hamas, a terrorist group. Hamas is designated by the United States of America as a terrorist organization for many, many years. And you as Americans, you don't have the power to just call things for what they are. Instead, you are escaping and going to blame Israel.
A lot of people disagree that the blood is on Hamas's hands, right? You mentioned this earlier. They say Israel has occupied Gaza for a long time. The strikes have killed civilians. They've locked these Palestinians up for decades in a refugee camp. I have to admit, I'm sympathetic to some of those arguments, right? I can't imagine living in a place like Gaza. I spent a week there. It's very eye-opening. It's sad. You feel the hopelessness. It's in the air. A part of me understands how people get this way.
Listen, it's a self-inflicted pain. This is what it is. When an entire society is under the influence of religious opium, drugged in their religion, drugged in their culture, incapable of seeing things for what they are, dwelling into cowardice that they are afraid to confront. They see the truth, they see the predator, but they don't have the power to fight. Then they choose to be silent. Others choose to take part with Hamas. Hence, an entire society is participating directly and indirectly. When a majority of the Gazans voted for Hamas, they made a very big mistake. Because when a majority agree on something, then they are partnering with this. This is exactly what Hamas did. They won the elections, and now they took advantage of the sheep that voted for them. Now, in a situation like this, a society has fallen from grace. When they agreed to Hamas ideology, gambling with children's blood, they saw it. How many wars happened in Gaza, by the way? This is the fourth. Could not they see it? Could not they see it the first war? How Hamas played them? Could not they see it the second war? The third war? Cannot they see it now? What Hamas is doing to them? While Hamas leaders sit in 4 seasons in Doha, paying $1,500 a night. And the people of Gaza are dying, the children, the women, everybody. People don't have the power to just stand and say, this does not represent us. When we have a society that is paralyzed to this degree, that does not have the power, well, they already did. They already did long time before the strike. And this is what I've been saying from day one. They wanted me dead to contradict them. And they convinced the whole society that this is a traitor. But I lived long after their accusation, and I promise I'm going to live much longer, than all their delusion and their lies. You know why they hate me very much? Because when they see me stronger 1,000 times when I was back in the region. And they hate to see this. They are counting that if I got shunned by the family, I go into the unknown, I have no support, and I will die on my own. But guess what? I learned how to walk on my own and to be alone. And this is what the model that I'm trying to express to all the useless, powerless, with no consciousness, with no human potential, that they cannot fight and say, screw this, screw Hamas. I don't want to take part of this. Just jump off the fence, get the out of there, run for your life. Earth is big. So you tell me about society. People migrate. Even the animal migrate. The butterflies migrate. When there is an impossible condition like this, we have human predators that controlling this whole thing called Gaza. It's the oldest refugee camp in the world. It's supposed to be demolished 70 years ago. It's unhealthy place with no infrastructure, most crowded area, or one of the most crowded areas on earth. What's the need for this? I don't mind, people relocating. 2 million people can be relocated going into the Arab world, wherever they want to go. Earth is big. Why to stay there under the rule of Hamas if you cannot fight Hamas? Even, we're trying to convince the people, depart the northern Gaza to the southern Gaza, and they cannot even obey the order. Israel, through leaflets, text messaging, speakers, internet, Facebook, they used every possible mean to tell the people this is serious. We are coming, and we are coming big. There is a big war. We have to eradicate Hamas. And the people still, asleep until it's too late. And now we're witnessing all these civilian casualties. The reality of war is ugly. Israel did not start this war. And Hamas started this war. They are the only ones to take the blame. The only party that has the children's blood on their hands. Believe it, don't believe it, it's your problem. Hamas has to go. We have to remove them from power because we cannot afford another Gaza war. Okay, you want to be pro-Palestine? First of all, get to know what Palestine is. You will ask down the street, how many people, what Palestine? They don't know what Palestine is. You ask them, what was the name of the prime minister or the king or the president of Palestine prior to the establishment of the state of Israel? They don't know because there was no such a thing. Because Palestine is such a broad term. And it seems that many people are pleased to project their hatred through this. It's the human condition. It's the human delusion. I've seen it in the Middle East, and now I see it here in Manhattan. But this is ridiculous. Go home. Go find the real life. Go find a job. Contribute to life instead of going against and after the most productive people in the universe, the most intelligent people in the universe. This is something I came to realize in experience. So it's not acceptable. And this is Hamas propaganda. And those who follow Hamas lead, they're not only going towards self-destruction. They are ruining our civilization. And I love our civilization. It's not perfect, okay? And all civilizations are ought to fall. But this one, I want it to go for eternity because I think it's amazing. I love living in it. Hamas preferred to see the entire Gaza Strip burnt down to ashes before they gave up their ideology. This is the true nature of Hamas. The entire world is confused about their nature. So I say, okay, here's a test. If you love your people, if you care that much, get out. Go to Algeria. It's not that far. It's the same climate. People of Algeria love Hamas. They welcome Hamas. Hamas leaders been to Algeria parliament. They've been visiting with the president. They love each other. So why to die and cause the death of so many innocent people who has nothing to do with Hamas? This is dark age savages, unheard of reality that we are witnessing in the 21st century. And people in the free world, we are failing to condemn them. We are failing to condemn this pro-Palestine. Shame on you, pro-Palestine movement. You don't have the capacity to say condemn Hamas. Hamas, a terrorist group. Hamas is designated by the United States of America as a terrorist organization for many, many years. And you as Americans, you don't have the power to just call things for what they are. Instead, you are escaping and going to blame Israel. I don't know what's the matter with this type of people. But anyway, whether they listen or not, Hamas is finished. Even if it means a regional war. Israel is determined. Even if Israel will lose the American support, the Jewish people, they are not going to allow savages, Nazis, anti-Semitists, whatever you want to name them, they have different names, but they are of the same nature, apparently. And everybody is just unmasking themselves. It's very clear, basically. Because now it's chaos. And in chaos, this is when people actually show their true nature. So go on, project your hatred on Israel. But I tell you something, from someone who has experience with the Israeli intelligence community, the most powerful intelligence service in the world, that they are going after Hamas until the end of the day. It doesn't matter where they go. It doesn't matter how far they're going to go. Even if Elon Musk put them on Mars, the Israeli intelligence is going to go after them on Mars and blow them up there. I tell you, as someone part of the Israeli intelligence operation. So this is a promise. And for you to understand that this is the reality of the Israeli response, you should know that Israel is not going to give up. Not now, not this war. Because they will never allow Hamas to repeat this attack again, ever again. I am firm. I stand on a solid ground. I don't need validation from nobody. Even 7 billion clowns out there, say you're wrong. Doesn't mean that I am wrong. So whether they're listening or not, it begins with words. Reject my words. Then you will have to deal with fire. This is my promise. So, okay, you can stand hiding behind your mask of knowledge, whatever, as outsider observing the outside, and label me as much as you want. If my truth is not acceptable, then you will have to go through the fire of truth in order to learn on your own. It's gonna be as simple as that. It's either you take it as simple as it is from me, or you will have to go through it. I survived, but I am not sure that you will. Hamas is not the first Palestinian leadership that pause as the protector of the innocent Palestinian people. Yasser Arafat, it took him 40 years. How many airplanes he hijacked? He ruined Jordan. He ruined Lebanon. He ruined Tunisia. Wherever his people went, they brought destruction and chaos. This is, where terrorists thrive. This is where Hamas thrive, when there is chaos. They don't like order. When there is order, they die. There is no need for them. What the Palestinian people need, they don't need Hamas, a terrorist organization, savages, that they ignite a war in order for them to cultivate wealth and power and territory, etc. They don't care for the people. What people need, they don't even need a state. What we need to build a nation. And I said this many times. Hamas is fighting for a statehood. Palestinian Authority was fighting for a statehood. Yasser Arafat was fighting for a state. Everybody fighting for a state. But no one is investing any effort to build a nation. You know why? Because building a nation requires selfless leadership. A model like Gandhi that would drop all the personal gain in order to build a nation. And that's not me, because I'm not posing as the Palestinian leader. I don't want to be the Palestinian leader. I don't like sheep, and I am not a shepherd. I'm just individual, and I am enough unto my own. But those who want to be in leadership, then they better be selfless. Build a nation. It takes a lot more effort to build a nation. Once we have a nation, a Palestinian nation, then we can start the discussion about a Palestinian state. But those, they want the state, because with the state comes power. With the nation comes lots of work and responsibility. They don't want that. They want the fruit, but they don't want the effort or to invest the effort. Hence, to this, I don't know what to call them actually. Nothing actually can define them. Because they're lower than the lowest definition that comes to my mind. So with that said, let's finish with Hamas. Then after that, we can help the Palestinian people. I don't want even to think about a Palestinian state. I don't care for a Palestinian state. We have 22 Arab states, and all of them are garbage. I don't want another Arab state in that region. It's enough. They have all the human resources. They have everything. Human resources, natural resources, and they are behind. Pathetic example of beings. I'm talking about leaderships, and I'm talking about a majority of a nation that is falling from grace, that is incapable of saying that this is a terrorist group, to condemn terrorism. When they agree on something like this, when they stay in silence, they are partnering with this predator. So with that said, let's not jump ahead. We have job to do now. Priorities. Priority number 1, eradicating Hamas. Priority number 1. If we have a terrorist attack here down in Manhattan, first thing the police do, they go after the shooter to eradicate him. Then we can talk about, how we can heal the society from the trauma, how we can bring the economy back to its natural state, and how can we speed up the growth process. All this stuff we can discuss after war. Now we are at war, and it's ugly war. It's a very ugly one.
Are you at all worried that Hamas might come after you? Does that concern you at all?
Look, Hamas does not scare me. They should be very scared of me. And I think by now, when they see what I'm capable of doing, they see me everywhere. My shadow, my projections everywhere. And I will continue to hunt them. Me, afraid of Hamas? And what's the worst actually they can do? What's the worst, if you think about it? Because in your calculation, you think that The death of the physical body is the end of the story. And I tell them, if they want to take my body, you can take my body, but everything that I said about their truth and all the war that I waged against Hamas for the past 25 years will continue. It's a fire that is eternal. No man has the power to put it down. Not a government, not pro-Palestine movement, not intelligence service, not a majority of humanity can put the fire that I waged against Hamas for the past 25 years. This is what I've been in the work. What they want to come take this, behead me, try and see if it's gonna work for anybody. I'm no scared of Hamas. I'm no scared of Al-Qaeda, of this low-life savages. They are the ones that should be afraid, and hence I say, when I say this, I'm just individual, but I represent many. I represent many in India. I represent many in Southern East Asia. I represent many in Latin America. I represent many in America. I represent many in Europe. Many of those who are silent warriors, but they are people of consciousness. We are seeing what's going on, and we are not counting on governments or United Nations. Yesterday, I was sitting at the Security Council of the United Nations. We can go wherever we want to go, if necessary. First, priorities. We are eradicating Hamas. We are after them. They're not after us.
Whether you agree with Mosab or not, few people on earth can speak about Hamas from the inside the way he can. This wasn't a political talking point. It was a warning from someone who spent decades watching this ideology up close. And nearly 3 years later, many of the questions he raised are still shaping the world right now. If this interview made you think, challenged your assumptions, or gave you a perspective you hadn't heard before, share it, hype it up, because conversations like this are becoming harder and harder to have honestly. And if you want more interviews like this on Israel, radical ideology, and the Middle East, and the future of the West, subscribe to Stand Tall Israel. Please consider becoming a member. Thank you.